We're back now with more of today's Daily Dose on sun safety and your skin. Well, NBC's chief medical editor, Dr. Nancy Snyderman, is here with the hard facts about melanoma, the most serious form of skin cancer. Hey, Nancy, welcome back. Important we talk about this because between 1980 and 2004, melanoma increased in U.S. Caucasian women by 50%. Why?
Well, we think there may be a new gene that sort of gets turned on with estrogen. Women below the age of 50 have seen this great surge, and there's a thing called an oncogene which may turn on cancer cells. It's called MDM2, and in women who are below the age of 50 who have this gene, there's a fourfold increase. So we're not taking away all the environmental issues, but for some women, there may be a genetic hit.
So sunburns can also help cause
sunburns, yes. Sunburns, fair skin, freckles. The normal environmental factors are still at play. And that's why we still talk about people having to use sunscreen and being smart.
If they discover then that there may be a genetic trigger, is there a genetic test that we may want to think about?
There will be a test that's being more widely used in the future, but for women who have these high risk factors and for whom may be at risk under the age of 50, you can ask for this new genetic test.
Let's talk about those. Let's look at that list of risk factors a little more closely, because I think it's important. It also includes moles, if you look on the list.
Sure. So, fair skin goes without saying. In the history of sunburn, we know, and the excess sun exposure, moles in family history are very important because any mole that changes can be a cause for concern. Any new moles can be a cause for concern. And in some families, you'll see a sort of a familial link of cancer from generation to generation.
I worry about it in some members of my family because on one side of my family there is a history, but I don't know what to look for. I mean, how do you need to go to the doctor every couple of months, or can we learn how to look for it?
Well, dermatologists will say don't run to the doctor because it doesn't make sense. But know your own body, and that means taking a mirror, and I mean knowing from the soles of your feet up to your ears. Know what your body looks for. And the American Cancer Society has been great about putting out the ABCDEs of moles and skin cancer. We should take a look at those because A stands for asymmetry. So if you start to see a mole that changes and isn't completely round, that's a concern. The border, if it's irregular, you can see a regular mole and then the one that on top that's not. Any irregular border is a problem. Color. If anything changes from brown to black to blue, that's a concern. The diameter. We talk about 5 to 6 millimeters. Anything that suddenly starts to grow, also a concern.
And it can happen in people of all ages as well.
It can happen in things of all ages. And any mole that suddenly starts to bleed, also a concern. So just remember, anything that changes prompts a call or a visit to your doctor.
Right. There's new technology that might help detect it?
There's a new technology. This has been really done a lot at Duke, where you can take a laser light and look down into the skin. And it's a really cool way to look for melanotic skin cells and early cancer changes, frankly, before the skin cells become really important and hard to treat cancers. Only the great medical centers right now have this test. So if you, again, have a family history, if you know you're at risk, then you can ask your dermatologist to see if they have the laser light that can do this.